Now, the real games begin.
Only in Hollywood. Quarterback Matt Stafford returns to Detroit for a playoff game. He played there for 12 years.
The field will be trimmed down from 14 to 8 in the coming days. Let us dive into our super wildcard edition of the 2023 NFL Power Rankings. Number 14, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 17. Jordan Love did what Aaron Rodgers couldn't do a year ago. Lead his team to victory in a must-win game at Lambeau Field in Week 18. Love put on a near-perfect outing against the arch-rival Chicago Bears in a 17-9 victory, doing more than enough to secure the NFC's final wildcard spot. Up next, a visit to AT&T Stadium, where they'll meet Dak Prescott and the number 2 seed Dallas Cowboys. The Packers are considerable underdogs for this one, but we say bet against them at your own risk. They have a QB who just threw 32 touchdowns, a dynamic RB duo of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and young stud wideouts Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs. If Christian Watson is cleared to play, well, hey, look out Dallas. The pieces are all here for Matt LaFleur's group to pull off the upset. Regardless of what happens here, 2023 has already been a very successful year in Lambeau Land. Number 13, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 16. Just as we all expected, Baker Mayfield led the Buccaneers to a better record this year than the 2022 group led by Tom Brady. It wasn't pretty this year, but Baker did just enough to help the Bucs lock down football's worst division. All Tampa needed was 9 points against the NFL's worst Carolina Panthers on Sunday to win a 4th straight NFC South Division title. Tampa Bay was bounded by Dallas in the wildcard round last year, but they definitely have the potential to upset the Philadelphia Eagles this time around. The banged-up Eagles are reeling, with losses in 5 of their final 6 games. Yes, Philly took easy care of Tampa back in Week 3 with a 25-11 victory, but that was before Mayfield found his groove in Tampa's offense, and way before the Eagles started to unravel on both sides of the ball. Tampa has the number 5 ranked rushing D, so they're more than capable of giving Jalen Hurts and DeAndre Swift some real problems. Philadelphia also had the 2nd worst pass defense, so a Mike Evans-Chris Godwin tandem could easily take over this game and lead Tampa to a very stunning victory. Number 12, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 10. Will the championship-level DNA from last year's NFC winners come into play, or are this year's Eagles just a beaten-down bunch with no fight left? We just outlined why the Bucs are capable of an upset, but the Eagles also carry significantly more talent on both sides of the ball. If they do lose, 2023 will go down as a colossal failure. And you can bet GM Howie Roseman will make sweeping changes on that roster. It was Super Bowl or bust for Philadelphia coming into this year. The regular season was one heck of a roller coaster ride. Now let's see how Nick Sirianni's group responds after limping to the regular season finish line. Number 11, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 13. The Texans completed their incredible Cinderella story by outlasting the Indianapolis Colts in a nail-biter for the ages at Lucas Oil Stadium. Couple that with the Jacksonville Jaguars' loss to the Tennessee Titans, and DeMeco Ryans' group unexpectedly capped off the regular season as AFC South Division champs. 'Twas an incredible one-year turnaround under Ryans and rookie phenom QB CJ Stroud. And fittingly so, the Texans' first playoff game under Ryans will be against the Cleveland Browns, who helped Houston speed up their rebuild by giving up a king's ransom in the Deshaun Watson trade. Watson won't be playing, of course, and the Texans instead must deal with the rebirth of Joe Flacco. The Super Bowl 47 MVP caught fire after joining the Browns in November, winning 4 of 5 starts while throwing 13 touchdowns against 8 picks. Cleveland allowed the fewest total yards in the regular season, and only 4 teams had more takeaways than Jim Schwartz's group. What a test for Stroud in his first NFL playoff game, huh? Number 10, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 11. It was closer than it should have been, but the Steelers won a defensive slugfest in the rain against the Ravens B squad in Week 18 to lock down 10 wins in its 3rd playoff berth in 4 years. Mason Rudolph re-energized this offense when he took over the reins in Week 16. He had 3 touchdowns and no interceptions in Pittsburgh's 3-game winning streak to close out the year. The hat tip is well to Najee Harris and George Pickens for going beast mode down the stretch. With that, the Steelers climb into the postseason with a showdown against Josh Allen and the surging Buffalo Bills. Not having TJ Watt for this game is a tough pill to swallow, sure. But if we're going to be perfectly blunt, well, the Bills have a knack for not exactly playing their best football in January. And a Pittsburgh team coached by future Hall of Famer Mike Tomlin is more than capable of pulling off the upset. Number 9, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 9. Sean McVay and Les Snead did it again, reminding everyone that they don't need no stinking first-round picks to build a winner in La La Land. After a miserable Super Bowl title defense of a season in 2022, the Rams rediscovered their championship pedigree and locked down a 10-win season and playoff berth. Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald stayed healthy and did their usual things. Cooper Kupp was a beast when he was on the field, but it was rookie wideout Puka Nacua and second-year running back Kyron Williams who mostly powered the offense. Rookies Byron Young and Kobe Turner combined for 17 sacks, providing Donald with much-needed support in the trenches. Indeed, this is an awfully dangerous wildcard team that no NFC division winner would have wanted to face. Does Stafford stick it to his old team one more time, or does Goff further balance out the evenness of the trade by leading the Lions to their first playoff win since 1991? Number 8, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 4. You don't want to call an 11-win regular season a disappointment, but it's hard to celebrate being a wildcard team when the division was in your lap for most of the regular season. Miami lost 3 of its final 5 games to hand the AFC East over to the Buffalo Bills. Instead of being a number 2 seed, the Finns now must defeat the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs on the road just to get to the divisional round. Miami needs Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert to rest up and get ready for Saturday's clash in Kansas City. They simply cannot expect Tyreek Hill to do it all against the league's number 2 ranked defense. The Hill returning to KC is another enthralling storyline for wildcard weekend, but if Miami's other weapons don't step it up, well, this is going to be a bit of a quiet day for Hill. And another disappointing one-and-done outing for the Finns in the postseason. Number 7, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 8. KC's 11-6 record marked the franchise's worst since Mahomes became the starting QB in 2018. But the Chiefs also fielded their best defense by far in the Andy Reid era. Steve Spagnuolo's group ranked second in both points and yards, and only the Baltimore Ravens topped the Chiefs' 57 sacks. Defense wins championships, and the Chiefs have 2 championships in 4 years. Overlook these guys at your own risk because they are still awfully dangerous. Number 6, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 3. Carried by a punishing defense, offensive weapons Amari Cooper, Jerome Ford, and David Njoku, and the rebirth of Joe Flacco, the Browns finish as the AFC's top wildcard team at 11-6. Up next, a showdown with the very team that gave them Deshaun Watson 2 years ago, the C.J. Stroud-led Texans. Any team of the defense of the Browns' caliber is scary in the postseason. But may we remind you that Flacco is literally one of the greatest playoff performers of all time? Look, 10-5 in the postseason with 25 touchdowns and only 10 picks. So, why can't Joe Cool do it again and lead the Browns to an improbable playoff run? Number 5, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 6. Of course it played out this way. Did you expect anything different? Of course the Lions have to host old friend Matthew Stafford and his surging Los Angeles Rams at Ford Field on Sunday. Of course Detroit's attempt to end a 31-year playoff victory drought comes down to defeating the ex-Lions franchise face. It's either a defining moment in the Lions' history or another chapter of the same old Lions this Sunday. Number 4, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 7. Well, same old story with the Cowboys here. A tremendous regular season that will mean absolutely nothing if they don't endure a deep playoff run. Dallas is on a 16-game home winning streak. This time, they have to, and I mean have to, at the very least, reach the NFC Championship game. Number 3, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 5. Reminding the world that he may or may not be Clark Kent in disguise, Josh Allen put on the Superman cape and willed Buffalo to a 5-game winning streak to close out the season. That included statement wins over the powerhouse Chiefs, Cowboys, and Dolphins in Week 18 to snag a 4th straight division crown. McDermott's squad has a label of being postseason chokers. This is their first year to prove that 2023 is different. I mean, James Cook finished as the franchise's first 1,000-yard rusher in 6 years, and future Hall of Famer Von Miller was sidelined for last year's postseason. No more excuses for Bills Mafia. They have too much talent to not at least reach the AFC Championship game. Number 2, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 2. With the top seed, the 49ers mostly played their backups in Sunday's home loss to the Rams. The 49ers finished the regular season at 12-5, but one can easily argue that this is the best roster pieced together by Kyle Shanahan Shanahan and John Lynch. They were third in both scoring offense and scoring defense. Christian McCaffrey ran away with the rushing title, and Brock Purdy himself was in the MVP discussion for much of the year. Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Deebo Samuel all went over 1,000 yards of offense too. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and Javon Hargrave are as scary a defensive trio as it gets. And let's not ignore the presence of Chase Young while we're at it. The 49ers are easily the most complete, well-rounded team in football. And no team in the NFC can match their overall depth and star power. Number 1, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 1. Yeah, nothing new to see here. The Ravens sat their key starters in Week 18 against Pittsburgh and locked up football's top record at 13-4 anyway. This year's Ravens finished 4th in scoring offense, including number 1 in rushing, and 1st in scoring defense. Only 5 teams surrendered fewer total yards than John Harbaugh's squad too. Oh, and Lamar Jackson is going to win his 2nd MVP award in 5 years. Will the choker label plague them once again in the coming weeks? Only time will tell. But with no clear weaknesses on the roster, and with that blowout road win over the 49ers in their back pockets, the Ravens are unquestionably the team to beat. But who do you think will win Super Bowl 58? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.